Welcome to Around the World on 8 Plates. In this series, we're going to visit different countries and introduce these countries to you. We're also going to teach you how to cook signature dishes from these countries and interview locals from these countries so that you can have a better understanding of what these countries are all about.
In this season,
so far, we've traveled from the Czech Republic to Oman, from Oman to India, from India to Uganda,
and from Uganda to Australia. Where are we going next?
On this episode of Around the World on 8 Plates, we're going to a new country. So following tradition, we'll start with the funny monologue, and then you can guess where we are going. Okay, so where are we going today? It's funny monologue time. So here's the funny monologue. Neymar is the newest Marvel villain, right? So what I bet, Neymar is going to be the next Marvel movie. What I bet, Neymar. It sounds like the name of a country. So which country are you visiting? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. 3, 2, 1. You cannot guess, right? It's okay. We are going to the country of
Vietnam, Vietnam. And today, we're also going to teach you how to plan a 4-day, 3-night trip around the city of Hanoi and teach you how to cook a popular Vietnamese meatball dish called Bun Cha.
And we're going to interview a special guest who is going to tell us more about this wonderful country. Presented to you by National Taiwan Normal University, Common Core Education Committee, Foreign Language Education Division.
So after landing in Hanoi, Vietnam, what would be an ideal 4-day, 3-night itinerary? For the first day, you will be visiting 3 different tourist sites. Start your trip by having a Vietnamese lunch.
Alright, so we're now in Vietnam and we're going to try fried spring rolls and fried spring rolls in sauce and some other stuff.
The full belly, it's time to go to the first tourist spot, Chuan Quoc Pagoda. There are 3 things that are special about this pagoda. Number 1, it is the oldest pagoda or temple in Hanoi, Vietnam. Number 2, there are female Buddhas that people worship called mothers. And finally, there is a lake near the pagoda, so it is a very beautiful place. Let's take a few moments to take a look at what the pagoda really looks like. Now from the pagoda, walk for 15 minutes and you will reach Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum.
Okay, so for the first day of your trip here, you can first go to Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum. What's a mausoleum? It's not a museum. A mausoleum is a place, usually very big, where it serves as a resting place of a famous person. So when that person is dead, you will put his body or her body in that place, in that building. So that's a mausoleum. Alright, so let's check it out later. Alright, so a few interesting things about the mausoleum back there. Well, it was designed and patterned against the mausoleum for Lenin in Moscow. The body of Ho Chi Minh is actually inside a cooler so that they can maintain the temperature. Interesting, eh? And you can also see a peacock. What do you think? If you were an animal, would you rather be locked up in a cage or be wild and free? If you're an animal and you're locked up in a cage, I think you would feel unhappy. But then you would also be taken care of by a vet. That means you wouldn't have any health problems. So that's a good question to think about.
Now, what other things can you do when you go to the mausoleum? There are temples nearby where you can pray and worship. There's even a lake where you can take lots and lots of wonderful pictures of yourself or of the lake itself. And finally, you can also visit some places where Ho Chi Minh actually lived and see some of his cars. Now from the mausoleum, it's a 5-minute walk to the Imperial Citadel of Thang Long.
Alright, so this is the second spot, right behind me. What is that place? It's called the Imperial Citadel. What's a citadel? A citadel is a part of a city or a town. It's usually in the middle, and it's usually surrounded by a wall. So the wall will protect the citadel. This one was built in 1010 AD, and it was finished in 1011. So let's take a tour later.
Unfortunately, the place closes at 5:30 p.m., so we didn't get to take a tour. Fortunately, we were able to see some lanterns, a sunflower field, and just play around in front of the citadel. Now take a 10-minute taxi to the restaurant called Madame Tran's. That's where you will learn how to wrap spring rolls and other meat dishes in vegetables. So let's look at this demonstration.
Okay, now we're ready to start day 2 of our adventure. Where are we going first? Let's find out.
Now we're going to venture outside of the city of Hanoi. Make your way from Hanoi to the city of Halong.
The best way to come to halongbay is to join an overnight tour. It's going to cost you $170, and it includes all the lodging or the hotel or the accommodation. It also includes all the food you're going to eat on the cruise, and it includes the shuttle bus to and from Hanoi. Alright, it's finally time to get on the cruise. What does it look like? Let's find out. Here's what it looks like. And then let's find out what it looks like inside. Alright, so we are at halongbay right now, and the legend has it that when Vietnam became a country, all these things came out of the sea. Why? Because the gods wanted to protect the Vietnamese from the invaders. So these things came out of the sea and became a wall that protected Vietnam. And these things symbolize the jade that was spat out by the dragon. That's why it's called halongbay, or descending dragon bay.
There are many activities that come with the cruise. You can go swimming, enjoy the seafood such as oysters, go kayaking, go island hopping, and swim in the ocean.
You can even poop while enjoying the wonderful view.
And at night, they will turn on the lights so that you can go squid fishing.
我就说已经会有，只是没有。在哪里？这个行。来，
让我勾到了，我有看到。
等一下，
等一
下，我一定要帮你拍一张。
不听的。
哇
Number 1.
Now for day 3, in the morning, you will continue enjoying your time on the cruise. In the afternoon, make your way from halongbay all the way back to Hanoi, and you will visit some more tourist sites.
Hi! Alright, so now we have a special guest who is going to introduce where we're going next. 3, 2, 1, switch!
Hello everyone, now we are back in Hanoi, and after checking the hotel, we are going to the train street.
Okay, so we are on Train Street right now. Now, the train schedule, it's better to come here on weekends because there are more trains in the morning, like 6, 7, and 8, maybe even 9. But on weekdays, they only have the train at 6 a.m. Now, if you don't want to come in the morning, you can also come at night. So there's a train at 7 p.m.
Since there were no trains when we went there, we ended up just walking around and having coffee in one of the many cool coffee shops.
Okay, since we are on the train street, you need to be very careful, otherwise you will be physically disabled. Now there's a barrier between the street and the train track or the train street, but you still need to be very careful. Refrain from doing anything that is reckless so that you can ensure a safe and fun journey here in Vietnam. And here in Vietnam, they celebrate a day where they make sure that they remember the disabled. And it's December 3rd. So they celebrated it last year. And there are 3 goals. One is to make sure that people with disabilities, they have their freedom and their rights. The second one is to develop their abilities. And last, and the most important, is to find ways to help them integrate into society. So if you're blind, that's not going to be a problem. If you're deaf, it's not going to be a problem. If you have any physical or cognitive disabilities, it's not going to be a problem for you.
After that, it's dinner time at Hai San Pho restaurant.
Okay, so after going to the train street, I got a haircut. And then now we're going to have seafood right now. So the seafood here is going to be really, really delicious, I think. I don't know.
These are the things we ordered for dinner. They were all very, very delicious. After dinner, go to Huan Kiam Lake.
Okay, now after dinner, you can come to the lake in the middle of the city. It's well lit. Look at that. But please, you have to be careful because there are no railings.
Now, if you're not too tired, you can walk to a club called Polite and Company. We were very tired, so we decided to just hang out outside of the bar. Now for day 4. There are 2 places that you must go for day 4. For the last day of your trip, make your way to La Badiana restaurant. No trip to Vietnam would be complete without visiting a French restaurant. We suggest going for lunch because that is a cheaper option.
Include on black Hawaii. If you don't do white, you can check fruit juice, beer, springroll. Yes. Other we have a salad. You can try 3 course or 2 course. 3 course you try on starter, 1 main course, 1 dessert. 2 course you try on starter, 1 main course or 1 main course, 1 dessert. And a la carte menu.
Okay, so 3 tips for coming to this restaurant. Tip number 1, skip breakfast. If you eat too much for breakfast, you're not going to finish this. Tip number 2 is to reserve for lunch because lunch is less expensive than dinner. And tip number 3 is when you make a reservation, choose a table that's located on the ground floor because it's so much more beautiful. Hey guys, here's a good idea for designing your house. Right? Don't you think so? Just black and white pictures and then put them on the wall, different sizes. But instead of pictures of different people, you use your own pictures. Can you imagine my picture in there? That would be awesome, right?
Now after lunch, it's an 11-minute drive to Thang Long Water Puppet Theater. Here's a short video of what you might see. And that concludes or ends our 4-day, 3-night itinerary in Hanoi, Vietnam.
Before we learn how to cook
Bun Cha,
let us try to understand
Vietnam.
better. Let's quickly learn more about this beautiful country.
Now I'm going to teach you how to make Bun Cha or Vietnamese meatballs. Let us first go through the list of ingredients. For the meatballs, you'll need 300 grams ground pork, chopped green onions, 1/3 cup, chopped garlic, 3 to 5 cloves, chopped ginger, 1 teaspoon, chopped mint leaves, 2 teaspoons, chopped basil, 2 teaspoons, chopped lemongrass, 3 teaspoons, oil, 1.5 tablespoons, salt and pepper, fish sauce to taste, white sugar, 2 teaspoons, and the juice of half a lemon. For the dipping sauce, you'll need 3 teaspoons red onions, 1 teaspoon red chili peppers, 2 teaspoons cilantro, fish sauce, white sugar, and juice of half a lemon. The first step is to combine all the wet ingredients with the meat. This includes the fish sauce, the sugar, the oil, the salt and pepper, and the juice of half a lemon. If you're going to grill it, then you don't need to add an egg. But if you're not going to grill it, add 1 egg. Because we're going to fry the meatballs today in a pan, we added the egg. The next step is to add all the vegetables. So this includes the lemongrass, the basil, the garlic, the ginger, the green onions, and the mint leaves. Now for the dipping sauce, put together the cilantro, the onions, the chili, the sugar, the fish sauce, and the lemon juice. If you have a mortar and pestle, try to grind and mix the ingredients. If not, just mix everything together. Now add the oil in a pan and pan fry the meat until both sides are golden brown. If you have a grill at home, grill it so that you can get the barbecue taste. And there you have it, the recipe for Bun Cha.
In case you need it, here is a written recipe for
Bun Cha.
If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to get video recipes. Anyway, enough talking, here is the written recipe.
Now let's introduce our special guest, Mr. Harry Hong, an NTNU student who comes from Vietnam.
And I'm studying here at NTNU, Sudan. So, yeah, welcome.
And my next question is, can you tell us something about Vietnam that not many people know about?
Okay, so I think a lot of people know about our food. And you may think that our food, we have only pho and then the rice, broken rice, right? Those are the things that make our food famous, yeah. But beside that, I think not many people know that we have a lot of rolls and wrap things. Like spring rolls is just one kind of rolls that we have in Vietnam, actually. And in our daily life, we usually eat a lot more of that kind than pho or broken rice even.
Really?
Yes.
So pho is usually eaten for lunch or breakfast?
No, more of breakfast, I would say. But
Okay.
it's more of something that you have when you feel like you're hungry or you're tired. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't depend on the time, but rather on the moment that you feel. When you feel tired, you need that. That's it.
And what about the rolls? Like, do you eat it by themselves, or do you eat it with rice, or what?
Oh no, we don't eat that with rice actually. We have the kind of noodles called vermicelli noodles,
Mhm.
and then we wrap it up in rolls, But the thing that is special about our rolls that not so many people know, that we have many different vegetables inside it.
Okay.
And we even eat that with brickle vegetables.
And what's more famous, the fried type or the fresh type?
So you mean like fried?
Fried rolls, fried spring rolls, or?
Actually, that is not that so famous. We only
Really?
we only eat fried rolls during festive activities like family reunions, Lunar New Year, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in daily life. We don't do that often.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, we tend to prefer boiled food or steamed food,
Mm-hmm.
and we eat that with rice more. Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes we even have fish.
In the rolls or with
Yes.
rice? Oh, really?
Yes.
So the ones they serve here in Taiwan, are they authentic?
It depends on which restaurants you're talking about, of course. I'm gonna say banh mi is probably authentic.
Okay.
Pho, 60-70%, I
Mhm.
would say, depending on which restaurant you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Other kind of food is kind of made for Taiwanese people.
For today's TOEIC, you'll be doing part 2. You will hear a question or statement and 3 responses spoken in English. They will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only once. Select the best response to the question or statement and mark the letter A, B, or C on your answer sheet. Number 1.
It doesn't depend on the time, but rather on the moment that you feel.
A. So time is of the essence. B. So we always eat this during lunch. C. I see. It all depends on emotions. Question 2.
If you keep the key, start from number 2. It means you stay on the 4th floor downstairs. Yes.
A. I see. Room 202 is on the 2nd floor. B. Room 402 is on the 4th floor. C. Room 302 is not on the 3rd floor. Question 3.
So today I want to talk to you about greetings.
A. I'd love to learn more about that. B. How are you today? C. What will we talk about today, James? Here's the answer key. If you need the explanation, feel free to email me at the email address on the screen.
Where are we going next? Stay tuned as we upload another episode of Around the World on 8 Plates in the first week of
March.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ những video hấp dẫn.